All right, y'all. We are back with another video. I am Black Balloon, man. And y'all already know what's going on. All right, look, y'all. We just now getting to the Aaron Carter video. I did see a bunch of y'all requesting for me to talk about it, so y'all already know I was gonna come through with the video. Just now getting around to having time to record it, right? Now, first thing starting off with this video, it's kind of funny how this website used this picture of him where he's kind of like doing that vow of silence, holding the finger up to the mouth. You know, a lot of celebrities have done this in the past as, kind of like fulfilling their oath of not really telling the things that have happened behind the scenes in the industry, right? Now, the first thing I want to start off with this video is it ties directly back to what I was talking about in my last video about darkness taking over the world, right? Now, remember in that video, I was kind of going on and on about how everything we've been getting that has been, kind of covering this world in darkness has been shot and killed from the industry, from the rap industry. Remember, I said no other industry gives us these kinds of deaths. It's never shot and killed when it comes from the pop scene, any kind of other genre. The film industry and stuff, we never get these kinds of death. And remember, I related it back to Michael K. Williams supposedly overdosing in his apartment in New York, I believe, right? This goes right back to my point, y'all. Now, Aaron Carter's, I guess you could kind of consider him a pop star. He was definitely very famous for, being a child pop star, and in movies and shows. If I'm not mistaken, back kind of like the people that's kind of like around my age would be more, aware of who Aaron Carter was. Now, probably, I don't know which one is more famous. I'm assuming maybe Nick Carter because he was in the Backstreet Boys. I don't really know. Basically, he's in a family that's in the deep depths of Hollywood. He was born into, sort of already a family that is involved in the occult. And they run these rituals just like anybody else. They have to pay their dues to the devil, right? So this it ties directly back to my point of how we get the sacrifices. Now, the one that's making Aaron Carter's more relevant to the music industry is because he was found in his bathtub. Everyone knows that one of the biggest singers, female singers of all time, possibly the biggest, female singer of all time, The Voice, Whitney Houston, was found in her tub, in her bathtub. We also know that right before Whitney Houston was found, they tried to kill her daughter, Bobby Christina, in the tub as well. So there are already rituals that they do around the bathtub scene. We know Tupac, he got in the bathtub with a bunch of gold around him. We know DMX was covered in blood, I think, standing up in the bathtub or something like that. There's been a lot of pictures and celebrities and artists that have done these rituals in bathtubs in a body of water. That kind of, in a sense, creates it creates like a portal. It creates a way for spirits to come through as a part of the ritual, right? Also, it's just kind of a key sign for, people like us that dig into these kind of conspiracies, that anytime an artist, pop star, actor, or whatever dies in their bathtub, it's automatically going to go back to something that has to do with overdose, drugs, depression, as this article is trying to give it to us. It says, pop singer Aaron Carter has reportedly died at the age of 34. Aaron was found dead Saturday, November 5th at his house, with sources telling the outlet his body was found in a bathtub. Homicide detectives were spotted outside of his home, but there's no evidence of foul play, right? Now, says his cause of death hasn't been officially revealed, which in most cases it always goes this way, but then all they're going to do is come out and say it was an overdose. I would be highly surprised if they come out and say it was anything different, right? Now, another thing you want to point out here, A lot of the time when we get these overdose cases or someone is found in their tub or found in their home dead, there's always a welfare check that happened, which to me, it raises red flags, because this one says in September 2022, Aaron got a welfare check from police after fans believe he had overdosed. That was in September 2022. So it's like, how would the fans, how is them believing that he may have overdosed, and it causes the police to go do a welfare check on his home? That right there was already detailing that they were about to get ready and sacrifice Aaron Carter. Then it goes to the video that he put out recently. He may have been on IG Live, I can't really remember. And he was talking about how the label basically wants to kill him, and they don't want to pay him the $3.5 million that he's owed from Sony, the same label that Michael Jackson basically owned, or at least he owned half of Sony Music, or was attempting to at that time, because his catalog was worth billions. This is the same label. So it's basically the same devils that is still running that label. He went on to talk about the fact that they owed him $3.5 million, and everyone that was around in his life was basically behind the setup of trying to kill him off so they didn't have to pay him the 3.5. Basically, you're in that devil's game. You're going to be given up as a sacrifice, and I believe that he was even given up by his own family, or as we like to say sometimes these days, maybe this was just a label kill off. They're not going to really get much from Aaron Carter as far as music wise. Maybe it could have been because they didn't want to pay him the 3.5 million. Maybe he was just another sacrifice for his family. Who knows really what is actually going on behind the scenes, but it's definitely not something to overlook, and it's not what they're telling us, because we know these people are not just getting in the bathtub full of hella fucking drugs, and the next thing you know, they're found unconscious, they're found unresponsive in the bathtub. When a lot of people say he didn't even do drugs, they say he was sober. Now, can I confirm that? No, I can't. And as it reads more, it says, while no exact cause of death has officially been reported, Aaron's older brother, Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys, cited addiction and mental illness. So his older brother can cite that he's had, addiction problems and mental illness, but there hasn't been an official report of how he died. But yet they'll take the word from his older brother saying that he could have possibly overdosed, and mental illness played a part in him dying in the tub and being found unresponsive. That doesn't make sense. It says in an emotional post on Instagram, Nick wrote, sometimes we want to blame someone or something for a loss, but the truth is that addiction and mental illness is the real villain here. That's them, once again, pushing that addiction, pushing that mental illness agenda on you, so you don't really think much of it. This is how they roll out the sacrifices, people. That's why I said I just talked about it in the last video. From the rap industry, we get murder, kill, shot and kill, because they want to create that dark energy around you seeing someone shot and killed. Black people are always involved in, gangs and shit that creates those kind of activities, so they give it to you in that way. Because we had to think about Takeoff. They couldn't say Takeoff overdosed and drowned in a tub. No one would have believed it. They would have been like, oh, hell no, all Takeoff do is smoke big-ass backwoods. He don't do drugs that'll make him an overdose. So they can't sacrifice Takeoff as far as an overdose. They can't give it to you that way. They don't get any energy from it. They don't get anything from it. He just died from an overdose, and that's it. But yet they give it to you in the way that it happened, in a manner of a setup, using people that were supposed to be, supposedly cool with him, as far as all those mob ties dudes. They use that. They use the dice game narrative. They use stuff that typical things, that like what black people do that's typical, dying from an argument, dying from a dice game, and motherfuckers being angry and pulling out guns. They use that narrative against you. Now, when it comes to somebody like Aaron Carter, a pop star or an actor, they use that against him as well. Overdose. He died from an overdose. I always bring up Michael K. Williams because it's the same thing. They wouldn't get Michael K. Williams in a position where he was shot and killed. No, they gave it to you as an overdose. He overdosed? That's how they do it, y'all. Even Humpty, same thing. They give it to you they gave it from him. They gave it to you as an overdose because there's nothing to tie him into as far as like some kind of crazy shit where he was involved in a shooting or something like that. And that's another thing. When the artists get older, or when these actors and pop stars get older, it's always something drug involved. They only kind of do like the shot and kill kind of aspect of it when they're in the industry. They're young and they have a career going. But we notice when these artists and actors and actresses get older, they're always kind of killed off as far as an overdose, like DMX, a overdose. You can kind of catch the pattern of it. All of the older artists, and even if they're not that old, like Aaron Carter was only in his mid-30s, but he was way outside of his prime in his career. So what's better than, pitting that agenda out there, furthering that agenda that, he overdosed. That takes it all the way back to, what's the movie? The movie I did a video on that's on this channel, Eyes Wide Shut. Same thing. Remember when they sacrificed the girl? And they told us in that movie that they will tell you that someone overdosed when meanwhile this person was actually sacrificed behind the scenes. Bro, they can put out whatever they want. They're in control of the media. They can put out whatever they want. It's like Juice WRLD. Bro, Juice WRLD went on the plane, said he overdosed, took a bunch of pills so he wouldn't get arrested when he got off the plane. We'd never seen his body again. Did y'all see his body at the funeral? I don't know. I'm asking y'all. That's a real question. Did anyone see his body again after that? They control the narrative. They can give it to you however they want to give it to you. I didn't see his body after that. When he got on that plane, if he even got on the plane, it was over with. That was it. The last time you heard of Juice WRLD. Took a bunch of pills and overdosed. All because he didn't want to get caught when he got off the plane. Really? And Juice WRLD said, I'm going to blow up and fake my death one day. But guess what Juice WRLD talked about in all his music? Drugs, 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 drugs. Pills. Depression. So they fed that narrative and they gave you his death in an overdose, bro. It all makes sense. Everything makes sense. That's why Takeoff was they gave us his death in a form of being shot and killed. That was the narrative. Not saying Takeoff lived that kind of life where he was all, big gangster, big thug and shit like that. No, but the people that he was around, he's involved in the rap industry. He's active. He's around that kind of shit. So it makes sense to give you his death in that form, to sacrifice him in front of the entire world for the entire world to see. And the things that are coming out about Takeoff, I'm sorry to talk about Takeoff in this video, but I just feel like they're relevant as far as them two dying and the fact that I had already spoke about them giving the overdose deaths to the other genres. But the things that's been coming out about Takeoff and the shit that actually went down, bro, it's like I said in the last video, it's literally proven that he was sacrificed, literally with intent. But this is crazy, y'all. I just talked about it as far as them doing overdoses with the other genres. We just talked about it. Go back to that video if you didn't catch it and listen to it. It was a dope talk in that video. I don't really want to put the clip that Aaron Carter said that about Sony Music in this video. I might put it at the end just so y'all can see him say it. But y'all can search it up here on YouTube. Y'all can search it up and see what he said. But I basically told you exactly what it was, how Sony Music owed him 3.5. And he literally said they want to kill him off. So, people aren't just saying that. They're afraid for their lives. He's not just saying that. He's telling the world so hopefully he can be saved. So hopefully someone can help him. But, when you playing in that devil game and your family is actually a part of it as well, there's really nowhere to escape. And that's sad. That's a sad thing to say. It's a sad reality. But that's how evil living in that world. That's how it is. So yeah, y'all, I felt this was, it tied right back to the things I was saying in the last video. It's just more darkness, more death, and shit. Y'all already know the shit gonna continue, bro. We may not even have anyone left at this rate. You know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show you, how much things are increasing, how much darkness is actually over this world. And just in the last 3 years alone, how much has happened. You can't even compare the last 3 years to like the last 15 to 20 years. More darkness has come over this world in the last 3 years than probably the last 20. Think about that. We have seen, and we feel much more dense in this world, much more darkness in the last 3 years than probably the last 20 combined. Look how much the energy is amping up. That evil energy, I mean. So I want y'all to think about that for real. And y'all already know what's going on, man. I just wanted to get on here and talk about this. I'm working on a video for Patreon that I'm actually probably going to have released tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tuesday? Either Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm going to have that Patreon video out for all my supporters on Patreon and all my future supporters as well. I really do appreciate y'all. It means everything to me to have that extra support. So I just want y'all to actually know that, I actually work hard to get those videos out to y'all, rather they're exclusive or, just early access videos. I'm always going to have content for y'all. So I really do appreciate my patrons and of course my people here on YouTube, man. I appreciate y'all just as much. I couldn't do any of the things that I've done in the past 2 years without any of y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we are all like, the people that watch me and constantly comment, I feel like we all kind of like close-knit. We all kind of think the same. We all mostly agree with each other. And I feel like here is just a good place to where we can talk about all this stuff and, just continue to move forward, continue to bring this, all this crazy shit to the light, man. Bring that darkness to the light. And I appreciate y'all, man. That's all I really got right now. So with that being said, it's Black Balloon, and I'm gonna see y'all soon. All right, I'm out.